like that. Alright. So anyone doesn't know what it looks like, here's what I'm using. So we do that. And then 90. I had a run that was gonna beat his time and then I messed up on the exact last moment and I was really sad. So let's just say this game is extremely optimized. And I've made it a point to optimize this game for around 2 years. Okay. I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, go! I split even though I didn't have a timer up. Okay, so I can skip cutscenes by pressing start. I can only do this on the Everything Not Japan version. Using a solo Valo team. Yeah, I use the Nijikon for everything. I'm gonna use the Tarazi car. It looks like a Civic. So this is the best grip setup. Because there's 2 different cars in this game. There's grip cars and there's drift cars. And you know they always say you go faster going forward than you go sideways. So grip's better. So I'll keep pressing start. 2 tricks here first. One's a glitch, I'll explain afterwards. Okay, so rocket start. And boost ride. Okay, so the rocket start is when you can step through gears in manual transmission. Which luckily I remembered to put manual transmission on. Jeez, on the curb. Alright, cool, I made that. Okay, so stepping through the gears, I can start in the last gear, and for this heat of cars, it's 4th. And I can start at pretty much like a boost. It's not really at max speed, but it gets to max speed very quickly. I'm going to be doing that the entirety of the run. So that's a way to get a good start, and that saves around a handful of seconds. And then the boost ride afterwards is when I stick myself in front of a car that's in 6th place. That's not what I can get to. And the way AI works, they're all in cycles. And they don't start in a pack. They start in different positions, and you have to get to different positions on the track. That's how they make the AI difficult to beat. It's not really difficult. So the way you do that is they don't teleport there, and they don't start there. They go really, really fast to that point. And there's a moment in time with the rocket start that I can stick myself in front of that car to do the boost ride by sticking in front of that AI that goes really, really fast and breaks my own speed barrier. So it's really cool. And fun fact, I figured out the rocket start from a random game FAQ line from like 2002. That's where I got the rocket start name from. It was like the worst explanation ever, and I tried it and was like, oh, that's really interesting. It actually works. This run used to be a really high 29, now it's down to a 27, a mid 27. So a lot of optimizations came into this run. But because there's no skips, it's kind of just playing extremely well. So I'll try to play extremely well here. So this is Helter Skelter. I don't want to explain about it. It's one of the 3 layouts for tracks in this game, and there's tracks based on this that you'll see later on. And this track has a layout of the first track that's in the original Ridge Racer and Ridge Racer 5 and whatnot. Because this game doesn't retain that much from the rest of the series. So it doesn't look anything like Revolution or Rage Racer. But games after this do kind of take a bit of it. And some of these tracks do exist in Ridge Racer for PSP and Ridge Racer 2 for PSP. Same with the soundtrack, which is incredible in my opinion. Alright, so Wonder Hill. This is a terrible track. It has a terrible layout, and we'll see it later as well. So, really tough boost ride here. Yeah, so the AI kind of, when you get anywhere near them, even though they're on cycles, they take the same driving line. They will go off the line, try to go back to their line when you get anywhere near them. So he tried to avoid me, and he did. So, like, that's difficult because the line that the AI takes is so close to the wall. Trying to go to the wall, keep in front of them, and not hitting the wall is the hardest part. That's the worst corner in the game, by far. It's dark, it's uphill, it's a right side, really hard to see, and it's really hard to get a good drift in there. And when I say drift, it's like a grip drift, quote unquote. So it's kind of just like getting into the corner more sharp than a drift. A drift in this game is very exaggerated, like the other Ridge Racer games, where the car goes sideways and keeps going sideways and goes forward. So it is pretty slow. That's why grip is faster. And going around corners, like simple corners, like just something I don't have to lay off the accelerator for. The speed lost, as you can tell, I went down to 110. That's not much. For drift cars, it goes down to like 107, 108. So let's slow that way. And using the n1nj helps because it's pure analog. Oh, nice bump. So pure analog lets me get more precise, obviously, as what analog does. But a little thing for Ridge Racer 4 that I've never seen a game do it like this. It's so precise, it makes everything that's not the n1nj plenty worse. My best run with a D-pad was 2810, and the best run with a DualShock was Kona's 2801, I believe. So the controller really makes a difference. Like a big difference. So being more precise, feels like it has a wider steering range, and just being more comfortable in my opinion is pretty great. But his controller is the Ultra Racer, which has an n1nj inside, which I used to use as well before I got a real n1nj, because my hand was in too much pain. I got the right use. Oh, Skrillex stuff. Yeah, I remember that. Price paid for it. It's weird to hear a Ridge Racer game have actual licensed soundtrack. Unlike this one, because this was an OST. It's really good. Oh, nice drift that got dropped there. Yeah, so all the stuff I explained on Wonder Hill makes this probably the most difficult track in the game to optimize. Not the most difficult to drive in. That'll be later. Alright, so that's Heat 1. Heat 1's pretty simple. And the way cars are unlocked in this game, there's 321 of them. The one is Pac-Man, surprisingly enough. Namco game. It's positions in the Grand Prix, and to qualify for the second heat, which after the first one is a minimum of 3rd place for each. Alright, menu RNG. That was slow. The menu can load really late there. That's where all the time lost was in the runs that me and Kona got. Alright, so now I'm in a tricycle. It's pretty cool. So cars unlock when you get different positions. If you do Grand Prix 7 times with different combinations, well, it's not 7 times, but if you add up the number of combinations, there are 7. You can get all 16 cars for that team. And model combination, which is a really hard boost ride. So, so being all first place, I get the best upgrades. And it saves time to gain first place. And opposite of that is getting 3rd and then 2nd for this qualification for the final heat, which is getting 2nd in both of these. That is only just a tune-up for your car. So by the end of the game, if you go 3rd, 3rd, 2nd, 2nd, and 1st throughout, you get the same car, just a little bit tuned up. And there's a lot of cars that have likeness to real-life cars as well. Like that first car I used was a Civic. There's a Corvette here somewhere. A lot of LMP cars in here towards the end. There's a really neat car that I'll be using next. That's pretty recognizable. And there's this, I don't really know what to make of it. I don't know if there's a 3-wheel car that actually exists. Alright, so this is Edge of the Earth. This is also another one of the layouts that appears later on. Set in New York City. There's really not much to this course other than the one hairpin and the boost ride, which is extremely difficult. A nice ball. This might be the most difficult boost ride to start. The Wonder Hill one's the hardest to maintain because of how tight it is. This one's just hard to start. The way you shift, if you shift poorly at the start, you can get a slow start pretty much. And you can tell because the AI will just pass you up and you won't really get the boost ride. So mine was just right, but he got past me. I have to go all the way to the guardrail on the right. And there's a piece of the guardrail that kind of sticks out that the AI goes into when we try to get the boost ride. So it's really difficult to even start, and it's even harder to maintain. And it saves a lot of time too, and it saves a lot of AI cycle hassle. because I don't want to see any AI next to me when I'm trying to drift into a hairpin or something. Because bonks hurt. Bonks hurt a lot. Bonks can kill runs. Because it's an arcade game, and then bonks can... In most arcade games, do make you lose all your speed, and this is no exception. But then there's times where I kind of like slide off the AI. So hopefully we won't see that. I don't want to have to risk anything. Let's see if I can make this. This isn't faster, but... Yeah, close enough. There's two sections of that concrete over there. Or asphalt. I think it's concrete. I always just call it soft concrete in the road. There's a point in the track where, in most tracks, if you go further out, the car will slow down if it's not even on grass, so I hit that point. So yeah, doing that is not faster, because you're going so far wide. Doesn't really matter that you're going to the corner as inside as possible. Coming out of it, you're going too wide and it's pretty slow. Some more cutscenes. Just talking to my team manager about encouragement and whatnot. Alright, out of blue. Alright, I'm starting at 5th this time. I really shouldn't be. Because the boost ride here is like sketch. As you can tell, I barely got it and I barely got anything out of it. It is faster, but not by much. Because I go too fast for much. I'm not in the corner. Alright, so this is probably my least favorite track in the game. Not visual-wise, but just layout-wise. As you can tell right here in the harbor. I'm trying not to fail this corner. And I did. Nice. The AI in this track, if I make any mistake, it's over pretty much. The AI will always be next to me. They're pretty funny names, but they're all references to something in the Namco series. A lot of little Easter eggs. And the next track is not really Easter eggs, but it's kind of just obvious. Shooting Hoops is great. What a name. I have like no idea where they figured that name out. I think mine might be Edge of the Earth. You know, New York is not the edge of the earth. But being nighttime, it feels like it. And I say AI was in a bad position as well. Had to swoosh around them. Okay, so barriers are kind of close. And also when I go slow, I can't drift. So that was bad. Because drifts can only really be started if you're in high revs. That was not there. This is probably the most punishing track in the game. Hardest to optimize. In like just technical aspect, not like solely based on boost rides and whatnot, like Wonder Hill was, I mentioned earlier. I'm just bonking everywhere. Just one after another. Not bad, not bad. Oh, I love losing 4 seconds. It's pretty cool. So you can kind of see like bits of Helter Skelter in here, because this is a different route of it. You can see like the bridge and whatnot. Alright, so I was so far behind on the cycles, I lost 4 seconds. There's an AI that can stick right there on that S. Uphill S, there he is, the Corvette. It's also really, really difficult to avoid. Well, at least he wasn't there, because I was already bad enough as it is. And normally I do lap the AI that's in front of me that I can't see, but you know, marathon luck, am I right? Alright, so that's heat 2. We're on to the last heat. I was mashing the wrong button. Forgot how to play. That was alright. Got a new car ready to go. I got a Formula 3. Kind of a Formula 3. Alright, on the Phantom Mile. That's a Klonoa reference. Klonoa, door to Phantom Mile. And all this Namco branding on here. Alright, I was mashing it, didn't give me the 60 here. So yeah, there's the Dig Dug Guy's Pac-Man. Oh. Oh no, I messed that up. Anyways. This might be my favorite Namco game, actually, now I think about it. Because there's this Klonoa right there. There's just so much like Namco stuff with it. It's like the epitome of a Namco game. They've stuck everything into this one game. It's fantastic. Like there's the Dig Racing team, that's a Dig Dug reference. Micro Mouse Mappy has a team right there. And that Mappy arcade game. I'm driving a racing team Silvalo. That's from, if I say Rygar, it's probably wrong. And there's the Pac-Man team. And looks like I should just switch to no Ridge Racer. Rib. Don't worry, I'll still live in our hearts. Right here, right now, as you're watching it. It's also the shortest track in the game, so it went by pretty quick. That corner is very, very difficult, deceptively difficult, because it's not exactly a hairpin, it's got a wall. That's the wall, brother, and it kind of just, it can snatch your car out of nowhere. There we go. Yeah, it's surprising because the Vita was a launch title, PS1 was a launch title, PS2 was a launch title. I think for the PS3 it was as well. That's kind of just how you know it as. All I remember is the Ridge Racer Vita as the launch title had like, it was like $50 and you got like 2 cars and like 4 tracks. Like, yeah, cool. DLC. Alright, here we go. Brightest Night. I'm really proud of this one just because of the optimizations that I found in this. So I'm really proud of myself with this. It's a track that I don't mess up anymore, even though it was probably my worst nightmare for a long time. This track has 2 hairpins. Well, 1 hairpin and 1 like close to a hairpin. They're both from jumps, and this is the first one. And the way the game works when it does jumps, the car kind of like wobbles for a bit, and you can't really give it an input, so you can't like drift into it after a drift. No, after a jump you can't really drift. That's the sense I meant to say there. So this one's really difficult. Big ol' jump. Gotta try to deaccelerate. Yeah, it's even hard to get. Otherwise I did mess it up and I just messed up there. Ooh. So there's only a tiny bit of time where I can deaccelerate and turn and give it the input and not hit the wall. I kind of go off an audio cue. You kind of hear a drift starting with the screech of the tires. It's not easy. But it is a cool looking track. I like night tracks a lot, and this is a sweet track. Luckily the AI isn't really a problem. So I kind of can play. This track kind of like forces you to do a lot of like short drifts, because drifts can be started with any bit of deacceleration. So when I'm doing these drifts, I'm just lightly letting off the accelerator for a tiny bit and then putting it back on, and it'll still give me the drift and I can accelerate out. Kind of like that. It's a helpful skill to know, so you can keep your speed through corners. And if all goes well, 59. Nope, not 59. 58s are possible. I've got a couple of 58s, but it's extremely difficult. What makes these more difficult is the darkness, honestly. A lot of shadows, you can't really see much. I used to play this on like a really bad CRT that was like kind of greenish because the tint was awful, it was old. Yeah, it's just, this track is pretty much pitch black a lot. Gotta be aware of your surroundings. So if you go too close to a wall, you never know when that might actually just be a wall. With a 1. That's fine. Luckily that bonk didn't lose me that much time. Only like a second and a half to 2. More cutscenes. And we're going to hell. Heaven and hell. This is based off Wonder Hill. This is the most technical course in the game. It is very, very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. A nice stall there. Alright. He dropped my input, so good. That's fine. So, pretty much this is the first half of Wonder Hill. With a slow car, it was still pretty tough to go through that one corner that's up top. So let's do it 40 miles an hour faster. Or 30 miles an hour faster. So this track's gonna go kind of quick. It's still like a minute long, but not the most fun. When it goes well, it looks like a masterpiece, but it is really difficult to go well. I can take this without drifting. Got it. It's really helpful to go really wide in the corners that you want to do that for. Alright, that was bad. Now I get to the... Yeah, I got the RPMs, okay. There's a terrible bonk there, because there's a jump after that, it's not aligned with the track, and it goes to the left. I couldn't make that without drifting. So, yeah, he shifts to the left, so when I'm in the air, I just go right, and if I'm too far right, I go to the wall, and then the RPM is so low, I can't drift to the next corner, and it kind of just stacks up. A lot of AI everywhere. Ooh, I thought I was gonna recover that because I didn't even get the bonk. I just slid off him. Like I mentioned earlier about the collision that can happen. Yeah, I kind of slide off the AI. Not sure why it happens, but it does, and it's pretty good when it does. It's like nothing's even there. So AI is like really nice. I want to like get around him. I don't have to worry about bonking. I'm gonna try to take this corner without drifting. It's pretty difficult to get the angle because it's an increasing radius right hand as a little bit of downhill and it's blind. So I have to like align myself up with the sign that's on the left. And luckily there's a lot of signs throughout every track, so I know where to turn, where to let off the accelerator and whatnot. Okay, I hit the brakes there. I never do that, because fun fact, in this run, you shouldn't have to hit the brakes ever. But I got a really terrible angle, I tried to recover it. I left the wheel a little bit early for that one. And you can kind of see why Kona and I call this hell. It's hell trying to do this track. Alright, let's just move on to the last race. I'm not sure why the last race isn't split into another heat, but I get a new car and I can save as well. Okay, so that was a good example of it gave me.
You've got a new car.
It gave me a bad load, so I couldn't give it an input, so it dropped my down and decided to make me want to save. Alright, so shooting hoops. This is pretty much mirrored high speed ring from Gran Turismo. Looks really close to it. It's also based off Helter Skelter. It's just like, parallel to it. You can kind of think of it as Twin Ring Motogai Super Speedway inside a Twin Ring Motogai, where you never really see it if you're on the road course, but it's there in the middle. So I'm getting a big old car. This is a Mazda 77G next to me. I'm not sure what this is based off. I think this is an original car. That was like a Jag GR9. So this is a big old beast. This does not have the most top speed, like I mentioned at the start of the run. The fastest grip car is still slower than the fastest drift car, but not by much. So I'm losing out a couple miles per hour, but the miles per hour I don't lose while I'm doing corners makes up for it. My laps should be, if I was any good, it'd be 28.3, so 28.39, 28.37, around there. 28.4 isn't terrible. Like, optimizing this track is pretty tough because any bonk it's like 2 seconds down the drain. Because going from 200 to 110 is not fun. And it's also where analog controllers come in, like the G-Con, without being how precise. I can take turns and not getting a full input going around corners like that or adjusting, so I don't have to lose anything. Alright, so I haven't bonked yet, so there's a point where I can bonk on the last lap, the last corner, where I lost like world record pace. Very last moment, and I'll point it out because it's pretty obvious. Because taking corners is a little awkward for this game. Taking corners tight, you don't get any kind of range, and you kind of just have to hope that it's a little like a short corner that's pretty low radius to not like lose the turn pretty much. Fireworks, yay! So you want to take corners, like it happened in Hell when after the tunnel, I was able to go that top part without drifting. I had to go really wide to get the range. So right over here, there he is, my teammate, I think. I was a little slow. If I was a little bit faster, I'd be able to bonk. Alright, time is now. Time. I'm assuming it was a 28:40. Or 28:30. Oh, the 28:16. Okay, that's pretty good, actually.